Hey, Imago Dei community, this is Ben Thomas, campus pastor here at Central City, and excited to just have a conversation with Bob Howard, our new pastor of worship and arts here at Imago Dei Community Central Campus. And so, Bob, excited that you're here.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
Yeah. Wanted to just give you an opportunity just to help us get to know you a little bit better. So just wanted to ask you a few questions just as far as your story and kind of what drew you here to Imago Dei. And so, first question that I just love to ask is what has your faith journey been like? How did you come to know Jesus?
Yeah, I gave my life to Jesus when I was 13 years old. Some friends invited me to their youth group, and that was the first time I'd really heard the good news about Jesus and had an encounter with what I believe was God's voice. And, slowly over a couple of months of wrestling and trying to decide, okay, do I actually believe this? Because before that, I would have considered myself an atheist. I decided, okay, there's nothing else that I can really live for apart from this. So gave my life to Jesus. Came from a family background where both of my parents had been in church growing up, but by the time that they had me, were not following Jesus themselves, didn't really raise me in any kind of Christian environment. But yeah, it changed my life. So that was 18 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, from there, obviously you're in a position of being a pastor. And so what was it like for you? And obviously you're coming in as a pastor of worship and arts. So somewhere you got involved in ministry, or was it, what got you into leading worship?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting journey. My mom was a singer-songwriter when I was growing up, and I actually could not stand music, which is crazy to think. I legitimately remember being in the third grade, and we would have music class, and the first week that we had music class, I raised my hand in class and said, "Hey, I don't like music. Is it okay if I just go sit in the classroom, or our main classroom, while everybody else comes in here?" And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And part of that was just because my mom's relationship with music was really, really unhealthy. It took her out of our home. She was really focused on her career, what she sought out to pursue. And for me, I was like, well, if this is what music is all about, I really don't want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the first things that I felt like God redeemed in my own heart after coming to faith, was an appreciation, for music, not just for playing music, but then also a desire to shape space for people to encounter God's presence. And, I started, with lighting and video, moved into sound, and eventually started leading worship when I was 15 years old. Wow. And so from that time forward, that's kind of been one of the main gifts I feel like God's given me, and I've been able to use that in the church. So
that's amazing. And along that journey, obviously, you met Simone, and you guys got married.
Yeah.
When was that? And kind of, she's obviously coming here and as a part of the Imago Dei family too. So
so we have been married for almost 9 years. This coming February, we met in college. So both of us, right out of high school, we're part of an incredible church in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and started dating, got engaged. We were a part of a church plant for the first 3 years of our marriage in Austin, Texas, and spent some time there, and eventually ended up here in the Pacific Northwest, which we absolutely love, and we're just so pumped to be back here in Portland. So,
what is it? You're coming in as a pastor of worship and arts, but actually, part of it is you're just a pastor. When did you first feel a calling and say, "Hey, I actually want to be a pastor"? And what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's almost like one of those questions of, when it comes to worship pastoring, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And for me, I feel like I always had a call or a leading from God to help people experience and encounter Jesus. And that came first, and then later started playing music, singing, getting involved with the arts, creativity, communication. And so for me, it's always been this sense of how can I be a part of helping other people follow Jesus, help guide people through the journey as best as I can, as a friend, as a brother, but also just through the vehicle of the arts, through the vehicle of music. Like, how can we together shape space through all the five senses to help people to encounter and respond to the presence of Jesus.
So, yeah, absolutely. And that's, I think, part of what, I think I'm excited just being, working together here at Imago Dei, and really is just the idea of how can we walk with people and participate in what Jesus is doing in the city. And it's really great to have you as a part of the team that way. I'm curious, what's something for you? You lived in Portland before.
Yeah.
You've been down to California, coming back. What's something that for you, you're excited to go, man, I'm glad to be back in Portland because of this. Is there anything specifically for you and Simone that you're like, we're looking forward to this?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we have a lot of friendships and community here in the city. Just for us, coming back to Portland feels like coming back home. I mean, if you talk to my wife, like, we are so excited for the season ahead to, so into what God's been doing here at Imago for almost 19 years. And be a part of what God's doing in the city here with all of you at Imago. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, we're absolutely excited to have you here, and I would encourage any of you, as you see Bob on Sunday, to introduce yourself, Bob and Simone, and get to know them just a little bit more, and there's a lot more to come in relationship with you guys, but just excited to have you on the team and excited to have you here as a part of the Imago Dei community. So.